I am sure sports. You know me there, I'm coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get the sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know no game play, that me not say it. If me never see no game, me not know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you are gonna love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crap of players. We are good enough. Remember, like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.
Trick Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
Made up of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices. Add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
All right. Good afternoon. Welcome to I Am Sure Sports. This is the Guna podcast. No, our thumbnail does not say that because some fans of other clubs were adamant that Cranky and I were too selfish, that we just have up all red, all Arsenal. So we decided, just for this week, we will see what sort of difference it would make if it made them more interactive by changing the thumbnail. Right, you notice we have catched our Arsenal player way into the corner and put other team player on the forefront of the thumbnail. All right, so bless up and welcome to the platform. It's Manning's man and Stan Kroenke, the man who is spending all the money in the transfer window, almost $83 million so far. And has he recouped any? I think there was a $2 million sale so far and a $10 million for Guendouzi. So net spend is like around $70 million. So let's hear what he has to say. Welcome to the platform. I see that is Highgate. I think Highgate goes by that name. Richard 7 Viva Jesus. Yes, that is Richard from out of England. And Mike Beadle here, father of Mikai Beadle as well. Big up to all the other persons. We have some other persons who will be joining us. But Cranky, Arsenal played a friendly. Talk to us. What are your thoughts on the friendly game? I watched it and it was two Arsenals I saw.
So before we jump into Arsenal friendly against Nuremberg, I'll say this. If we add other content to the program, so we have an hour, I almost fell asleep because we advertised for about 20 minutes. So if I have 20 minutes, we have 40 minutes left. And then for the 40 minutes, but we take 20 for Arsenal. We only get for Arsenal 20 teams. It's going to be interesting to see how this works out. But actually, the game was on. There was some channel called Serve or something in Germany, which is interesting. And the game was on that channel, so you have to get that channel. And remember, I gave you that link, that live media. You share that live media. It actually it's like a HES goal, but one where you can actually watch it tablets and on phone.
Frankie, your internet is breaking up. You're moving in slow
I don't
motion.
know. I've been having some internet trouble today. As I don't know what's happening. Maybe my internet provider. I paid my bill, by the way. So I'm going to comment about that. I paid my bill. I'm not what's happening. Getting that this morning. It seems to be very slow.
Yeah.
And choppy. So hopefully it holds up for the there.
Yeah, right. You're talking about the site that the game could be viewed on. I think that's where you.
So you download the app from if you download the app from Apple Store, it's called Live Media. That app, you can get almost every single game in football. If you just type in football, for example, type in the name of your team, normally the game would pop up. You can link it. The app is very cheap. It's less than $10 for the app. I've had it since 2011, 2012. It's a legitimate app. It's on the App Store. You can download actually.
Called Live Media.
Yeah. I think I sent you the picture of it. So check your phone where I sent you.
Live Media.
Yeah. So let me look at it again just to make sure, because I have the app on my phone right now. Yeah, it's called Live Media Player.
Oh, Live Media.
No, it's called Live Player. There was a Live Media Player before. They updated the app because I guess they wanted to make more money, so you had to repurchase it. And it's now called Live Player. They had a Live Media Player before, it's now called Live Player. It's green with a white triangle in the center of it.
Green with a right. Okay, IPTV.
It's an IPTV, yeah. But it's on the Apple Store, so it's legit. You have to pay for it. It's not like your bamboo stuff, as people would say. So. Okay. Let's go back to the game, Michael. It was a game of two halves. And Arsenal fans, boy, they don't realize this is pre-season. Pre means before. This is not the season. People are losing their mind when the second goal is scored. Literally losing their minds. And they were having a go at Turner and all that stuff, which is not warranted. It's pre-season. People get their feet wet. It's coming from holidays. They have a few days of training. But it was a game of two halves. You know, Nelson, Smith-Rowe, and Pepe didn't differentiate themselves. What was very pleasing was when the reinforcements came. So you can tell who's going to be here and who's not going to be here. You know, he kept on, Nketiah, for example, he kept on some of the players who were going to be here. And some of the players who were not, he took off, like the Bellerins of the world, the Pepes of the world. Okay. Right?
So it's keeping Reece and Ainsley because they were kept up, they stayed on the field.
Well, he probably wanted more balance in the game. He wanted a little more balance, frankly. Yeah. And Ainsley can play multiple positions, right? So he wanted more balance. And he probably want to see more of Reece, because Reece was good at firing on. So you probably want to see more of Reece, because you can think about Reece. Can Reece play a wing back, for example, which is what he was playing? Can he play a wing back? So he's probably trying to figure out, given that Reece didn't differentiate himself before he went out alone, can he bring him in and have him try a wing back position or wide and see how that works out? But I was pleased with Jesus coming in. No, Jesus, not Jesus. I'm using the Spanish pronunciation versus the Brazilian pronunciation. Jesus, and from he came on, he was a differentiator. Yeah. He was very average. And when he plays in Nketiah will play down the middle. He would probably go wide. But I don't think Nketiah will start. He'd probably start at Martinelli, Saka, and Jesus. So it should be interesting. Yeah, welcome, CP.
Martinelli was very instrumental as well when he came on, very direct, which is what I didn't see from a Pepe. I don't know. It just looked like he wasn't in the game. Like, you know, like somebody just know I'm not supposed to be here. That's how it looked to me. Like Bellerin, they look disinterested.
Pepe's problem is so Arteta is very focused on protect the ball, protect the ball, protect the ball. That's a theme for him. Don't turn the ball over. And Pepe is very skillful, but he's going to beat you 6% of the time. 40% is going to lose the ball. That doesn't go away with Arteta. So if you notice how Saka plays, people don't realize it, is that Saka always jockeys you first. He's not trying to go by you. He's not going to lose the ball. He sets you up so when he makes a play, he won't turn the ball over. Pepe is a little more carefree with the ball, and Arteta hates that. So therefore, I don't see a future for Pepe. Some people love Pepe. I don't see a future for him.
Yeah. All right, welcome, CC. We soon get to some Chelsea stuff. We have to cover the most important stuff first before we deal with the minor things. So just give us a little
Remember,
time.
you guys started the season at first place, so we'll just see if he'll stay.
Well,
there.
not really. AFC Bournemouth started first place.
Where's the AFC Bournemouth now take over?
They need to get relegated so we can go back to starting the league in first place. But Richard is asking Marquinhos. He came on in number 27. He didn't do a lot when he came on. I can't say I can say anything about him really cranky.
Well, when you're that young enough, you don't want to come into the game and try stuff, and then you lose the ball, and then you get destroyed by fans. So Pepe was quiet. He was quiet also. But he didn't do anything wrong, but he didn't do anything spectacular either. And I think he's a more direct player. I don't see him having the skill to weave and bob. He's a more direct player, good left foot. So we'll see what happens. But he's young. He came on second half, but we need to see more of him.
And then El Neni further solidified that he is a good squad player. Brilliant goal, took an brilliant shot. Really allow Sambi Lakanga to play more box to box, which I think that is what they need to have him playing instead of this deep line midfield.
And he scores once every 2 years. He scores one of these. He did it against Barca. He did one 2 years ago in the Europa League, and he did one again more recently against Nuremberg. He does this. He has it in his locker. Unlike Partey, for example, who takes field goal, at least then they will hit the target. In fact, he took 2 very good shots. One hit the right that went in, which was a creeper from about 35, 40 yards.
Richard is on me about this,
Yeah, we soon get to your CC. Hold on, go ahead, Cranky. Yeah.
No, but I think El Nene is a very good squad. I don't think El Nene get enough credit for his ability. I remember a year ago or 2 years ago when he played against Man U, he and Partey in the middle. They destroyed Man United. Yeah. Pepe he's an honest player. He gives an honest effort. He doesn't have the skill to go box to box and go by people. He plays well defensively. He's tidy.
That's El Nene you're talking, not Pepe. El Nene.
El Nene, I'm sorry, El Nene. Did I say Pepe? El Nene. He's a good player, but you need to differentiate. Who I think we should get Manning's man, and we'll get to that, is Savic. Now, I watch YouTube videos.
Oh, from Napoli?
Yeah, I watch YouTube videos. And when you watch YouTube videos, you know what they do? They pull all your best highlights for years. Not even for 1 year, for years. They pull all your best highlights. And they give you the highlights for 5, 10, 15 minutes. Look at Savic highlights. So when they give the highlights, they show you beating, they'll tell you Pepe. I watched Pepe highlights. My concern about Pepe was scoring a lot of penalties. But other aspects of his game didn't come across. In Savic's game, everything comes across. His heading ability, left foot, 40-yard pass, right foot, 40-yard pass, short passes, physical. You can see the whole player in just those videos. They don't have to pull out one segment of his game, which he's good at, and show you that segment all the time. And also, his plays have some finish to it. Half the time in YouTube videos, you know what you see? The player beat a man, and then all of a sudden it gets cut. The ball gets cut off or something. It doesn't end anywhere good. Savic was a little bit different. It's hard to pay £50 million for a 27-year-old.
Yeah.
I am not advocate for that.
Which is what we paid for Partey.
We paid 45 for Partey.
For a 27-year-old?
Partey is 35, but he says 27. His paper is 27. He's 35. In fact, he's 37 now because he's been over 2 years. He's 37 now. Look at his face. Discern his face. Look at his features. It tells you who a person is. Some people age more than others, but Partey is not 20. He's supposed to be 29 now. He's not 29. Sorry. And in fact, him breaking down, I just thought 30, unless you're Ronaldo or those players, or you're the kid from Liverpool, what's his name, Milner, you're going to break down after 30. You start breaking down. Muscles start giving, ankles start giving, wear and tear on the body, all those years you played. He's old. But Partey, if he's fit, and I don't think he'll ever be fit again, Savic, Partey, the middle man, devastating.
There's the
devastating. Sorry, go ahead, CC.
Or you stop playing international football. That's what James Milner did.
Yeah, but Milner was going to make the team anyway. So,
Yeah,
so
Part is the captain for his nation. He's not going
yeah,
to.
So at
he
this stage, he can't stop. We can't stop.
Yeah, and he has a World Cup. But CC, I mean, we're going to get back to your cranky, and we're going to talk about some of the transfer business. You mentioned one name, CC. When will Chelsea officially sign somebody?
When in a year two, they say, it is official, $66 million deal,
For who?
45 million pound, 10 million add-on.
so
Raheem
guys,
Sterling.
we don't use dollars in this forum. We're talking Premier League.
What's
Dollars is not part of it.
6 million pound? And I'm not saying dollars. It's Raheem Sterling.
Yeah. So what you think? Because normally, I don't know if it is a system at Chelsea, but your highest purchase players normally gives the lowest output. We can call some name: Christian Pulisic, Timo Werner, Romelu Lukaku, all of those players.
No, you have to understand that. I think with some of the players that we purchase, for example, I think Pulisic is a good player, but I don't think he was worth that amount because at the end of the day, is just they spent the money and you can't do anything. But he's a good player, no. He's just haven't been injury free to be consistent enough. Because I think Pulisic can give you 15 goals for the season, and he's a midfield player. So I think he could give us 15-10, and he would play good if he's consistent enough and not injured. That's 15 goals and 10 assists. But he's injured most of the time, so you really don't see it. And you see glimpses of it. Timo Werner on the other hand, Timo Werner seems to don't have a finish, but his work rate is high. I don't think he's a good finisher, but his work rate is high. So when he plays in the game, you can see his work rate, and you don't want to you wouldn't do necessarily take him off. Havertz is a good player as well, but I think as you pointed out, sometimes when the big price tag, a lot of them either them get injured.
Let me ask you a question.
Just like Kepa.
You struggle with.
It's a panic buy. Kepa was a panic buy, and you see we end up spending so much money on him, and it never really came good until recently. We have a couple good games now coming after them.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. So you sold Lukaku, right? Who before he came to Chelsea was a goal machine. All right.
Before he came to Chelsea, playing for whom?
It don't matter. He was a goal machine wherever
No, man,
Chelsea
it matters, man. It matters.
The Italian champions.
You said he's a goal machine when he was the two seasons that he played at Inter.
He was an Italian champion.
Yeah.
Serie A champion. All right.
Yes.
So, do you believe that because you sold a goal scorer, do you believe the purchase of Sterling at the equivalent in goals that Lukaku would bring, or your goals are going to come from elsewhere?
I think Sterling gives us more goals than what Lukaku gave us last season. Lukaku gave us 9 goals. The problem that I had with Lukaku is this. Even though he went at Inter and scored a few goals, I think a lot of persons realize Lukaku doesn't know how to play out in space. If Lukaku collects the ball and is in space, that's it. If Lukaku can play with the defender like he feels the defender, that's a different Lukaku. Because he feels the defender, knows the defender, you will see a lot from him. But when he plays and he collects the ball in space, he's not the striker that a lot of persons. I said something recently and persons come, me bramble me this and that. I said Lukaku is not a world-class player. And a bunch of persons jumping on it like I'm saying anything. He's not a world-class striker in my book, and they made an error in buying Lukaku for 100 million. Lukaku was bought for 70 million at Manchester United. We saw what he was capable of at Manchester United. Even though he went to Italy and scored so many goals. Ciro Immobile is scoring for what? Fun in the Serie A. And when he went away to Germany, couldn't do it. He couldn't mash it up. He couldn't do it. And then when he left Germany and came back to Italy, he's winning the Golden Boot again, scoring for fun. So sometimes there are certain players who thrive in a certain league or thrive because of the way how they plays. Lukaku seems to be that player who will be thriving in Italy, and he just can't cut it for a bigger club in England. And that's just how it is.
All right.
So can I type in?
Go ahead.
So any striker who scores 274 goals in 562 games can play for my team any day.
And he's
Any
world
striker
class.
who plays in the Premier League and scores 121 goals in 277 games, 43%, can play in my league.
And he's world class.
I'm gonna manage that world class because it depends on how you want to define world class, right? Now, if you play for certain, so when you play for if you can play in contest team, then you can play in my team. Let me say this again: if you can play in contest team, and Conte is one of the best coaches up there with Pep and with Tuchel and with in fact not Tuchel. Tuchel hasn't proved himself yet. With Klopp and with Guardiola, Conte has won 8 trophies in his last 11 seasons. So let me say, and he won Lukaku. He forced them to buy Lukaku for 77 million. He managed him, he nurtured him, he played to his strengths. That's what you have to do. He scored 121 and 277. That's 47%. It's hard to score in the Premier League, isn't it? It's a lot of goals. He scored 40-something in 70-something in Syria. It's a lot of goals. 72? It's a lot of goals. Even Pee Wee League, if I'm scoring a goal a game in Pee Wee League, I'm doing something. So I can't agree with. I heard all the narratives about all the pundits. Lukaku not good. His first touch is bad, but he's physical. He's good in the air. You gotta play to his strengths. Who was tripping the ball top to him? Who was getting the ball behind the defense to get to him? Chelsea wasn't playing the way to suit Lukaku.
How good is Zaha?
Zaha is a very good player.
But how did Zaha look at Manchester United?
No, that Zaha was.
I have this. No, man, when I have this.
You see, you're gonna lose that.
No, I'm just asking a question.
Zaha. So how did De Bruyne look at Chelsea? How did Salah look at Chelsea?
De Bruyne was a baby.
How was Salah?
Salah, they couldn't get into the team.
Zaha was a baby at Man U, wasn't he? Zaha was a baby at Man U, wasn't he?
Look at it like this: Kevin De Bruyne and Salah wasn't coming from the Premier League. Zaha was coming from the Premier League.
No. Back up. Zaha brought Crystal Palace from the Championship to the Premier League. Then he got Alex Ferguson, gave his move to Man U. Get your facts straight, CC. So Zaha is a brilliant footballer. Zaha didn't get a chance at Man U.
But I can tell you this.
The manager who was there was trying to fight for his job. It was his first big job after Everton. Couldn't manage the team, couldn't manage the players. Didn't know what he was doing.
All right.
Hold on, CC, because Frankie, there's a few questions for you. One is they're asking. So if Lukaku is all that, he's asking you why Arsenal didn't buy him. Because we had Aubameyang at the time, so we never needed Lukaku.
Well, there are a couple of things, right? First of all, we don't have 97 million pounds to spend on any player. We can't afford him. We're trying to pay it work. We're not going back there. Yeah. Plus, he's not a Arteta type of player. Arteta one player who can press, who's gonna run our game, who is total all-round players. Good on the ball, hold up player, can get behind, can score a goal. Lukaku has strengths, but pressing isn't one of them.
Yeah.
I don't rate Richarlison, but I think he has strengths in his game. But Conte bought him. So you have to just understand, say, it's like Conte bought him. I don't think Conte would buy Lukaku to play for this Tottenham team in the Premier League.
Not when he has Harry Kane.
To play for Inter in Syria.
But he has Harry Kane, CC. Come on.
Yes, come on, CC.
No, you're not clearing what I said. Conte bought him to play for Inter Milan in Syria.
Let me ask you this. You don't think if Spurs did not have Harry Kane and Lukaku was available, you're saying to me that Conte would not buy him?
So Lukaku was available and he bought Richarlison.
No, he has, because we think Richarlison going to come off the bench. He's not buying Lukaku to put him on the bench or play on the wing. He's not buying Lukaku for that. He already has a hurricane in that. But I think this Gate saying that De Bruyne didn't get a chance, neither did Salah. Which is what, but Zaha didn't get. Zaha was young and didn't get a chance. So that's
the point. That's the point.
Yeah. And then he says some players thrive better when they are the main players.
Because the ball is played through Zaha at Crystal Palace. If you're the main player, You can take liberties. You're the focus. So Grealish at Villa is a perfect example also. Grealish at Villa was the man that every ball went to. Now he's at Man City, he's just another player. Same concept. Same concept.
All right. CC, this is your manager versus Arsenal manager. And Richard is asking, in Tuchel or Arteta, which deserve the more confidence to trust?
The more confidence to trust. I mean, listen, I can't answer for Arteta, because that's not my team's manager. But I can say this for Tuchel. I think Tuchel has this flaw and a site at Dortmund where he tends to tighten up at the end of the season and stuff in terms of when it comes on to winning that domestic title and thing. So I think he still has that to prove, because I saw where he should have won with Dortmund and didn't win. I saw where he lost with PSG, and to lose with PSG in Liga with those players is an indictment on your resume. So sometimes, but right now I don't think it's a rush to change, because which manager is out there in the market that could come and instantly give you an upgrade and Tuchel. So there's not a manager right now I don't see in the market that could give us an upgrade and Tuchel. So Tuchel for me is the man in charge right now, because he got us back Champions League football, and we have to just go on with him to see how he does in this season with a few more of his players who he can trust and players who not going to come out in the media and say they miss this team or miss that team. You understand? So that is where I think has to be. In Arteta case, so Tuchel or Arteta, I couldn't speak on that, but I can speak on Tuchel.
I know. Cranky will answer on Arteta, man.
Yeah, give Tuchel his time to build this team. When I see Tuchel's team, because from what I'm seeing now, some players are not his players right now. And some you have to understand that a lot of coaches, we're seeing it with Klopp, we're seeing it with Pep. A lot of these teams weren't their teams. When you look at something there, Liverpool right now, there's not a player in Liverpool. You can't find 3 players in Liverpool that Klopp don't sign personally. So you find that the team is his team right now. And you have to just have patience and have little time. So it's a rebuilding thing. So I think Tuchel, I would give Tuchel my trust right now as the manager in charge.
Okay, all right, Cranky.
It's kind of funny. Well, he's a good manager. He won the Champions League, period. And nobody can win the Champions League with PSG. Whether it's Emery, whether it's no matter who they are.
Pochettino.
I was talking the league though. He lost the league.
Yeah, but with PSG, if you have 3 prima donna playing football, don't play any defense, looking at each other like you run back, I'm not running back. So you're only defending with 8 people. Of course, you're going to lose at some point, no matter how good you are. Some part in the game you're going to break down, because you don't see that happen with Klopp or Pep team. Everybody plays defense, and everybody plays offense. And a lot of managers are as good as their team. The only manager was really, to me, differentiated himself has been Conte. Because Pep always had the best players, and Klopp has a lot of the best players. That's factual. Pep always had the best players. Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Man City. And you know what I did recently, man? I matched up our players against Pep players. We're not in a good place. In every single position.
Listen, I did that exercise last season, and when I asked a talk show host, based on balance of squad, where would he rank the Arsenal squad? And he said, Ace, when you compare the squads in terms of squad quality, he had us at 8th. So if the team almost finished in 4th position, it means that the team is overperforming. Because
so you got to be very careful with that. So there's the squad of 25, and there's your starting 11 or your starting 12, right? Or the 12 that you rotate one in. So if you compare our 11 to a West Ham or even a Man U, I wouldn't say we're behind those 2 teams.
I think we're behind Man U.
And you have a lot of name players, man. You talk about quality on the field. Is Maguire quality? Varane has been done for a few years, When Varane gave away the Champions League game for Real Madrid, it looked so ponderous to me. He's been a brilliant player for years, but he's slowed down. So when I look at Man U, they have some name footballers. Some have been off form last year. I'm not sure they're that much better than we are, or even better than we are. But Man City and Liverpool and Chelsea clearly are. It's not even debatable. And now Tottenham, so don't sleep on Tottenham this year. Because Conte is a brilliant manager, knows exactly what he needs to compete.
Domestically.
Yeah. But domestically is what you focus on first before you start going abroad. Focus on your home first, then you go abroad. And he's building, you know what he's done? He first builds his defense. So Bissouma beside Højbjerg is that barrier that's protect his defense. Now he brings in the France international. He has Romario there. He's going to bring in DJ Spence. He has Davies on the left. So he's going to have a very good back six. And then what he will do is he'll run the 4 people up front, just run. Bentancur is in the middle, may play the 10, may not. Richarlison, Kulusevski, Kane, Son. You look at that team, you need a few more players, frankly, to make sure that, because you have 5 changes this year, got to be very careful. But he's really well balanced, and his offense, his 4 top players, as good as players in the Premier League. His 4 offensive players are as good as any top 4 in the Premier League.
Remember him have 2 world-class players up front, you know, Harry Kane and Young Min's son.
Yeah, but then Kulusevski and Richarlison aren't bad players either.
And then you have, that's what I say, like, so you can really, and the thing about Conte is this. You see, if Conte drops out of those cups early, it's going to be a problem, because if he has the league to focus on, all the other teams that has to be playing, all these other trophies will be in problem, because you have the Man City, the Chelsea, the Liverpool, who wants to play the other trophies. And then the 5 changes, I don't know if we will touch on that, but the 5 changes, to me, a lot of persons are saying it's not a good thing, because it gives a Man City an advantage. It gives a Liverpool an advantage. It puts the lower clubs to a disadvantage. However, given the fact that the Premier League, our leagues will be come to an halt in the mid and in November, and World Cup will be playing in November, it is even the best period in which the 5 substitute came in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the 5 substitutes is for two things: to give the players enough rest heading into the World Cup, so you don't, if a team overplays its player and they have a bad World Cup, that's up to the team, because they have enough substitution. And then when you come back from the World Cup, that busy running to the end of the season, you have enough substitution. So I think it is a good thing. I don't know if it will be lasting, but in at least in this World Cup year, I think it's a very good decision, because it's going to be very hot in Qatar. I know people are thinking like it's going to be cool or something. It's going to be warm there, and then the players are going to be coming back into winter, changing the climate. So I like it. I like the idea, which means that teams will have to increase their squad depth.
Somebody's mother. I don't understand football, you know. Football is a dinosaur sport, you know. A lot of fans are dinosaur fans, you know. They're so reluctant for changes. Like, why you have 7 people on the bench if only 2, 3 can go on the field? Why you have 7 on the bench then? It don't make no sense to me.
Options.
No, option thing. In fact, you know what, man? You should never you should never play a sport where for 89 minutes of the 90 minutes, a team can play with 10 versus 11. That makes no sense. 0 sense to me. Somebody make a mistake and make a bad kick and foul you and kick in your face. They put your head in the ball, and in the first minute of the game, it's 89 minutes you're going to play at a disadvantage. Kills the game, no fun, makes no sense. Second of all, you know how many arguments I have with colleagues in the UK about VAR, or adverse VAR, doesn't make any sense, it's killing the game, it's too slow, it X, Y, and now they're all VAR advocates. They're all, if the first thing happened, where's VAR? Where's VAR? Where's VAR? You didn't want VAR in the first place. As something happened, where's VAR? Did VAR see this? So they're not advocates of change. They're not responsive. They don't appreciate or support changes in something. If it works, why are you fixing it? Because it can be enhanced. Everything in life, we start at a certain place. We're making progress. Can it benefit the game? I agree that you're concerned something about the speed of the game, but footballers don't embrace change.
Hans 87 asking, what are we going to do about Party? Party will be playing at the beginning of the season, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think people shouldn't talk about the Partey situation because we don't have any we don't have any information about Partey to make any informed decision about Partey and what transpired. So we should probably leave it alone.
And Neo says, "What's up, fellas? Arsenal do it for the beauty of the game. Winning without poetry is not winning."
All Arsenal was poetry in motion. You know, that goal that Wilshere scored. If you haven't seen the goal, go on YouTube and watch it. That's poetry in motion. Only Arsenal score those type of goals. But we have to start winning because you know something, man. Here's what's interesting. So we're making progress, but we're regressing. You notice that?
Yeah.
We're making progress, but we're regressing. That sounds contradictory. So we're improving. We're improving the squad. Arteta's got rid of all the, I don't call them dead weight, but players were at the right quality. We have invested in the club 150 or 140 last year. We've spent over 80 million pounds, man, not dollars this year so far. And we'll keep spending more. So we're probably going to end up spending about 300 million pounds in the last 2 years. And yet we haven't made any inroads into the top four. In fact, we have moved backward because at the end of the day, Chelsea, Arsenal, Man City, even Spurs have made more progress than we have made.
Yeah, but the truth is though, I think the EPL is no longer a big six or a top four and the rest. There is around 7 or 8 teams that you could look at based on how the league is now and say, listen, any of these teams, probably you could say City and Liverpool have been above everybody else. But everything else is like 6 or 7 teams right there that any season, one of them could finish in the top 4. And then you just put, for the last 3 years or so, you put Liverpool and City up there. I think, though, that this season, that gap is going to be closed, though those teams are still going to be ahead of every other team.
So the only team that will close the gap real quickly in the next 2 years will be Newcastle, because they have unlimited funds to spend. When they start learning how to sponsor themselves, like Man City does, then they'll spend more money and buy better players. But I can't, when I look at our team and I match up player for player, in no position do we have player better than Man City, frankly, in position. They go to Spurs, 1 or 2 position, you could challenge whether or not they're better. Liverpool match up well with Man City. But not the other teams, man. It's tough. It's tough to catch up to those top. I think Liverpool will come back a little bit. Losing Mané is a big loss. Nunes will replace him. I'm not. Nunes got to get acclimated. Liverpool may come back a little bit to the pack. I don't see Man City coming back to the pack. Not now anyway. Hopefully. Probably won't be too much of us. We'll play better this year. With the kids have improved, they have another year under their belt. They're more seasoned. Hopefully that will help.
Yeah. So CC, let me ask you, what you think Chelsea needs to do? And I'm going to ask you the same question, Cranky. What can Arsenal do for you to have confidence that based on this, we should be in the top 4? What Chelsea needs to do, CC, in the off season to split the City, Liverpool, or to surpass them? You have new owners. Tom Bowley is his name.
Todd Bowley led consortium.
Yeah, right. Lots of money to spend. Probably more than your previous owner, more than Roman. I don't know. We will see. So what do you think? Like if you saw these 3 things, 2 things, 1 thing, 5 things, then you know that Chelsea,
right, I think
realistic things.
The first thing I think we need to do, and I don't know if Todd Bowley realizes it, football is, to me, is a brotherhood, or it's, I don't want to say cult. So I think it needs a sporting director. Yes, you want to understand the business, and you're the chairman, and you're the interim sporting director. But I think you need a sporting director who has been in the business, knowing players and know the system and know agents and stuff, because a lot of the times that's the difference between you getting the player that you want or just getting a player, right? So I think that's one of the things that they need to do, but I can understand him wanting to understand the whole business of football from that perspective. So he's currently the interim sporting director. He's the one in charge of making the signings right now. So I think they need that. The next thing I think we need is to bolster the defense because we have lost Rudiger on a free transfer. We have lost Christensen. We have lost 2 defenders, and quite possibly we will probably lose Alonso. So I think we need 2 defensive personnel, 2 defenders right now. So I think there's a lot of things about it. We need 2 defenders. They're going back for Nathan Ake. We'll see how that plays out. We need 2 defenders. I think we need 2 midfielders. We need a striker, right? But we are in the market for 2 wing players. One is Raphinha, who wants to go to Barcelona. Sterling is tied up already. So in order for us, I think to bridge the gap, I think we need to strengthen the midfield because Kante has lost a yard. Not a lot of persons probably wouldn't say it. Kante is a very good player, but he has lost a yard because of some of those injuries accumulated. So I think we need to bolster the midfield with 2 midfielders, at least a defensive midfielder and another attacking midfielder, a striker and 2 defenders. And I think with that we can bridge the gap because at the end of the day, I don't think, even though Man City might have like a better squad, what I think Man City would have had is chemistry over our team in per se.
So you said 5 more signings and you should be able to.
I mean, man is
our team. You just said
no, but the way you say it, but
you need 2 different. Hold on. Because I just repeating what you said. You need 2 defenders, 2 midfielders, and a striker. 5 players.
Yeah,
in addition to Sterling and Raphinha. So if you get
I think we get Sterling and Raphinha, I would settle for 1 defensive midfielder. So I think we end up need 1, 2, 3, 4 more players. We need 4 more.
They need 6 players.
We need 6 players.
6 players. Okay, all right.
The man not following team, you know. Man, I struggle with what I need. Man.
No, I'm struggling. And we need 2 defenders. That's a given fact.
That's 2 centre backs.
2 centre backs.
All right. So who is your left back?
We need a all-in midfielder.
Who is your left back?
As in my left back?
See, let me just ask you, man. What do you mean, as in your left back? Who is your left back?
We don't have players, man.
Me never ask if you have players. Me never ask if you have players. Me ask you who is your left back.
We still have Alonso.
But didn't you say that Alonso look like he's leaving?
We say it might be happening, but I don't think it will happen. We still have Alonso.
All right, so
and we still have Ben Chilwell.
Okay, all right, Cranky. What Arsenal needs to, you think to, you know.
Hans, we need a wide forward, 2 midfielders, 1 box to box, and left back. So Hans has most of the we need. We need 6 players. We need a right back, a cover at right back. We need a cover at left back. We need a box to box midfielder and a CDM, and we need a wide man. Those are not even debatable. But we don't need quantity, we need quality. So if we can end up getting 3 excellent players versus 6 very good players, I can also live with that. We also need Saliba to replace Ben White. We need to have 2 stalwart, 2 Van Dijk type stature.
Replace him or to be an option?
No, to replace. No, I didn't say option, man.
Just check.
To replace White in the middle. So Gabriel on the left, Saliba on the right, 2 monsters in your middle. Physical, quick, powerful, can put it on from people, but also can play the ball out, the defense, even though Gabriel is not great at that. Tamiyasu is injury prone. Was injury prone in Italy, is injury prone. Need cover. Cedric is not cover. Tierney works for the NHS. That's the National Health System. He's not really a football player. That's where he spends most of his time. Need cover for him. Xhaka is not good enough. Needs to be replaced. Partey is not reliable enough. Need cover for him. And we need a winger because Saka, if you look at his stats last year, which I've quoted, weren't as impressive as they look on paper. Because we have Smith Rowe and Martinez on the left. Pepe is not going to be here. We know that. So we need cover on the right. 6 players.
Well, and this is inclusive of the signings that you just made. So
we made 4 signings so far. We have Marquinhos, we have Turner, we have Vieira, and we have what am I missing? and we have Jesus. So we have 4. We
Yeah.
need another 6.
We need a starting. We need 11.
Wait. And last year we bought 6. So we need 6 last year, 10 this year. That's 16. We need some talented players. That's the team. Yeah.
That's sounding like that is going to happen. So it's probably very difficult.
Man, if you want to compete, you see what Conte is doing. Spurs already bought 4 or 5 players and still looking for more players. They have 5 already and they're still looking for more players. They have 5, and if you add Spence, but it's a deal that will finish, that's 6 players. And they're still looking for additional players.
Yeah. The thing is though, like I think Spurs are going to be in some issues because they are not selling anybody. Unlike City, who they sold Sterling, they sold Gabriel. That's over 100 million.
Spurs left 4 players, out from the South Korea tour,
Yes.
So they got 150 million investment they have. You can call it sponsors, whatever it is. So all player acquisition. They're selling Bergwijn for 26 million. To take 150 plus 26, because all net spending on is gross spending is 176 mil. They have to spend, man. And they sell more players, it's going to go up to 200 mil they're going to have to spend. They have money to spend. Plus that stadium is not like our stadium. That stadium is for football, it's for events, boxing matches, naming rights. I don't think they have the naming rights yet. So they have a bunch of money to be generated from that stadium. They got to pay down the debt. But no, they're in good place financially.
Eddie Guna says
now broadening his horizon. Levy is now broadening his horizon.
Eddie Guna, fellow Guna, is saying that Saliba not better than White.
Well, Guna, we all can debate. So here's the thing, Guna. What is your basis for that assessment? Because White didn't overly impress me. Saliba was told he was not good for the Premier League. He went to France and he's now in the French national team. White can't get in the English national team. And England's defense is the worst part of their game. If you can't get out Maguire, if you can't get out Stone, then I have a problem with you. Stone and Maguire aren't the best defenders. In fact, nobody rates them really. Yeah. Especially Maguire, who's Titanic, he can't turn. Every time he turns, every time he falls, he's sort of like a Jamaican player I know who falls. The world shakes. So I don't see how someone can say at this point White is better than him. What does White do well? He can bring the ball out. But is he physical? And he's slow like molasses, by the way, guys. He's not quick. He's not quick. He's not a better passer of the ball than Saliba is. He brings the ball up quite a bit, we'll give him credit for. Reading the game, I don't see him better than Saliba. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I think this is a Man United fan saying that Man United need 11 players. That sounds like a whole team.
Well, the only thing that made me feel good, because back in the days, I didn't consider Tottenham to be the rivalry, even though everyone's Tottenham. Man U to me were the rivals. And Man U has fallen off significantly since Alex Ferguson left. They were falling off before that, even though he won his last year. But he only won because we gave him Van Persie, else he wouldn't have won. But they have fallen down. They have money to spend, but they haven't done really well.
Yeah. CC, who you need to get rid of at Chelsea? Like, you just want this player out the window. Because you think he's not good enough to be there.
One need to get rid of. I mean, it's one.
Because if you're bringing in 6 players, you have to get rid of somebody.
I think if we're bringing right now, to me, I would say we get rid of Pulisic, because it's not like he's available, and the best ability is availability. So I would get rid of Pulisic at present. Bringing in 6 players. We are bringing in Sterling, right? You have Timo Werner and you have
Kai Havertz.
And Kai Havertz. Then I get rid of Pulisic. Because
Ziyech is going to Milan, isn't he? So I think Ziyech is going to Milan.
Yes.
You have room to bring in players.
So I mean, if I get rid of, and then the Raphinha situation, I don't know. It's like I don't want to play if you don't want to play for my team, but I wouldn't mind Raphinha coming to Chelsea. Whether I want to play for Chelsea.
No, but you can't be on 2 sides of the thing, CC. The man don't want to be there, but you want him to be there, and then you say you don't want to play, you don't want to be there. Decide what you want.
All right, listen.
If you don't
Raphinha's
want to
quality.
pay for Chelsea,
Raphinha's quality. I would want that at Chelsea. But Raphinha have to make up his mind and want to play.
he
at
doesn't
Chelsea.
want to play at Chelsea. But if Barcelona don't find the money, who do you take him?
Yeah, man, we take him with a heartbeat.
I would not take him.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to Barca because Barca is broke.
That's the
Why can't
thing.
people understand that Barca is broke? They're broke. They don't have any money.
Didn't they just sign 2 players though? They signed Kise
They
from
signed
AS.
because he was free. They signed 3 players. They ain't signing no one for money.
Remember, you know, right now what Barca is doing is telling the players that them Barca will bounce back and owing people money. Right now, Barcelona owe 3 players salaries. So why would you want to go there? And
So the problem with Deschamps is Deschamps doesn't want to take a pay cut. They want them to take a 40% pay cut. They want everybody to take pay cut.
but they
They
owe Frankie already, you know. They owe Frankie right now, you know. And they want him to take a further pay cut, you know. So this it's a
But how much money is he getting though? Because if you're getting 400,000, you know, euros, you know, and they ask you to take a pay cut of 50,000, you probably take it.
you can't take it, man. You're living a 400,000 lifestyle. Right now, Gareth Bale is probably the only player right now because Gareth Bale having money right now. So Gareth Bale, they know LAFC, and he's getting like 1.1 million because he's not a designated player.
All right, I see this. Barca isn't broke, cranky.
Bam Bam, you know what broke means? You know what broke means? Broke means you ain't got no money
And
to
then
pay your
Dirty-
bills.
then
Broke
Barca-
means you gotta sell off all your goodwill, so your naming rights and your TV rights and all that. You're broke. You may have some goodwill, but you can't pay your salaries. That means you're broke. And some of the company you may have assets, you know, but they're not liquid assets. So the problem they run into is they've overspent so much. Even if they sell off some of those rights, they're still struggling.
But Cranky, this statement that they put up, Barca sold for 200 million euro. Barca's salary.
No.
Wage
Barca
bill.
just sell 200 million euro of their TV rights.
Of their TV
So
rights.
man's man.
And their salary bill is 209 million.
Wait, man's man. How much are they in the hole? How much are they in the hole? You go check that number. That number is scary. Even if it's 200 mil, and still can't pay. It's not even the number. What I mean, the hole. They're in the hole big time.
Negotiating to sell an next 360 million worth.
You know, Barca remind me of those NBA players like Iverson who make like 100 mil and end up broke. That's Barca. So they spend more than they make, and then realize that you can't keep spending. At some point, it's gonna catch up to you. Crazy. Barca is broke.
But they have a lot of players that could be sold. Like, I mean, Umtiti, that's his name, the French centre back.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go. Nobody taking money's money. He's a broken horse. He's always breaking down.
There's also Dembele that they could get money.
They want Dembele to come back.
Dembele's contract is up. Dembele currently is not a Barcelona player now.
What?
Yeah, but Dembele, no, he's negotiating with them.
Currently is not a Barcelona player. He has no contract. Dembele is a free agent who Barcelona wants to re-sign.
Yeah. Here's what people understand, man. People want to live in Barcelona. If you've been to Barcelona, nobody wants to live in Manchester. I don't care what anybody says. You've been to Manchester and Barcelona, it's like night and day. Right? Barcelona's a beautiful place to live. The sea's not too far. You have the rising hills. It's a beautiful place to live. They want to live in, forget about the name of the team and its history. They want to live there. Spain has sun. England has no sun. But if you have no money, I can't come play for you. So then they want to stay. They want to take a 40% pay cut.
Well,
Question is,
just said he signed a 2-year contract with them. So
yeah, and he had to take a pay cut.
yeah, and then
Finalized because they keep,
agreement in place for a 2-year contract. He hasn't signed the contract as yet. There's an agreement in place, but he hasn't signed the contract as yet because it's a pay cut which you have to negotiate. Remember, you know, the player, the agent, the club, all these things have to be factored. Everybody, Barcelona, has to take a pay cut.
so man, here's a story in the press, man. Barca wants Raphinha, but they don't want to pay any money up front this year. Leeds is saying, look, we understand people have payment plans, but we're not sure you're going to be around next year. That's why we don't want to send him to you. we're not sure you're going to be here given your financial situation. So what Bamba and others are saying, I know what they're talking about. There's concern in the football community that Barca may go under. So people want to sell them things like IOU because it may just be an IOU. I mean, I get my money. I don't care how much image you have, how much naming rights you have, how much pedigree you have. Your debt and your revenues don't match up.
Because I
When
think
you get the revenue paid on your debt and then pay your players and all your expenses, it's a problem.
I think the league even says that. I think Dembele probably will be staying though because it's a 2-year contract and it's the board now to approve the deal. But the problem that Barcelona have is that they need to make 100 million. Their wage bill should be 100 million coming into the season, and they are currently at 209 million. So you know what that means? That have to be cut into 50%. Memphis Depay seems to be the player that would be most affected by even the Dembele deal because somebody has to leave. Dembele takes that 2-year deal, which he probably already taken, and the board rectifies it. Somebody has to leave. So they have to sell players.
I even forgot Memphis Depay that he's there. Oh my God, Obama Yang.
They have a lot of players, man. They just
They
don't
have
have
a lot of players, you know. Ferran Torres, they have a lot of players.
Who would pay 50 million for Torres? Like seriously, Torres, Man City bought him for about 30 mil. They sold him for. They saw Barca coming, and you know what? These idiots have no. They have no.
But isn't that what Chelsea just did with Sterling and with Lukaku?
Man.
Sterling is 27 years old.
No. How much money did City pay Liverpool for Sterling?
50-something million.
50 mil.
All right, and here's
49 million pound.
Right, and you come here now paying $60 million for him.
So man is not
four-time Premier League winner, and scoring goals in the Premier League, and is a Premier League proven player. He comes at a premium.
Man, when you're British, you have pedigree. It's proven. You have marketability, and your playing ability and your production substantiate your market value. Then yeah, you should pay 60 mil. Torres has done nothing, and you watch him play. He's an okay player. Not a 50 million pound player. No way near. And by the way, Man City does brilliant business. Look at Man City's net spend. Liverpool and Man City are great at this. Liverpool sold Nico Williams for like 17 million pounds. How do you get 7 million for Nico Williams? We sell Guendouzi for what? 7 million pounds? Guendouzi is a French international. That's the difference between the two us and like City.
Yeah,
English negotiators. They do.
English players are at a premium. But I think a lot of persons realize that Raheem Sterling is 27 years old because he has been playing so long. It's like this is the problem when I realize certain players. And a lot of players.
The point I am making though is that and don't use dollars and when we use dollars and I need to stick to one
pound.
Yeah. How much pounds did City pay for Sterling? Was it
49 million?
You're sure it wasn't 20 something?
49
No.
Liverpool?
49 million pounds from Liverpool.
49 million. So they have used the man, won 4 titles, and they are selling him and making a profit.
Yeah.
That's how they operate.
That's how it is.
They made 20 million profit on Torres. They made profit on him. They made Jesus, they bought for 27 mil. So Jesus goes for 45. That's why City is brilliant at doing business. They buy quality players, they build them up, they develop them, and when they sell them, they get enough money to go buy other players like Haaland, like Grealish, and their net spend is normally much.
But Frankie, City bought Grealish for 100 million pound.
Yeah.
And Raheem Sterling, to me, why could I not buy Raheem Sterling, who to me is a more proven player than Jack Grealish, for less money? Less money.
Yeah. De Jong is going to regret not joining Man U. Barcelona can possibly be liquidated in a few years. I see Fresh God put up something as well.
I think De Jong may regret joining Man U. That's what he meant to put, Manny's man.
Then Fresh God says same thing with Bayern. They want all the money Lewandowski up front because I think Barca will not exist in 2 years' time. So for the people who are saying that they are not broke, if they are not broke, they are close to being broke.
Man, if Barca was a regular company, what they've done, they would go into chapter 13, which is bankruptcy. They work out their problems, get some of their debt forgiven, come back out of bankruptcy, operate at a smaller level to get themselves back up. They're a football team. They don't operate like normal companies do. So I don't know what they're doing because they're still trying to make purchases they can't afford.
Listen, right. I think Barcelona is in a situation that Real Madrid was when Florentino Perez took over Real Madrid. What Barcelona needs to do, maybe is the same strategy that Florentino did. When you sign a player, you take out 60% of his image rights. So there's a lot of stuff because you realize that what Real Madrid was doing, you were signing the player, plus they were having a percentage of the player's image rights, plus they had a land that they were leasing up. So there was a lot of things. And I think that's the reason why Florentino is probably still the president at Real Madrid.
I see. They weren't going to do it for Mbappe, though. You know who to frighten. Mbappe was going to keep his rights.
Yeah, but they did it with Beckham. They did it with a lot of players. But the Mbappe situation, you couldn't predict it. Who could predict that a team would sign back their own player for 150 million right there in his hand? Mbappe got 150 million right.
No, he signed as the assistant coach. That's what he did, and the assistant manager, assistant coach, president. Yeah, all those titles.
This is the most ridiculous deal I've ever seen in a cranky in the history of football.
Yeah, it shows you who's important, right? Players important.
Yeah,
the product. No product, no game.
This one says you need to do more research, though. Keep focus on English league. You haven't seen a press conference with Barca board. You are more knowledgeable about the English league. All right. What I would love, Bam Bam style, one side, Bam Bam one side, is because all indication and all we have heard is about the financial woes of Barcelona. You have not heard, to be fair, you have not heard any press conferences to rebut any of the things that are being suggested that they are bankrupt. So where is your proof that they are not broke? Because they can't pay players, they can't make transfers, they are selling things that they normally hold on to. Why? If you understand me, Cranky, why then are they doing all that?
I'm not responding to that. I'm not responding. I'm just not. It doesn't make any sense. I'm not responding to it.
Yeah, because I can't respond to the thing where I'm going to say Barcelona going to lose probably 25% of the image rights.
How many players are back? Look at Barcelona history.
They can't register the players. No, because
they can't register players.
Yeah, but go ahead, Cranky.
So when someone makes those comments, you have to understand the person who's communicating information to you and what their knowledge is, what they've learned, what they know. Not because I follow English league doesn't mean I don't follow the financial situation at Barca, because they're not mutually exclusive. There's trading going on between English league and other teams. So most other leagues are challenged financially coming on COVID, except for the English Premier League. None of the French team are challenged by Marseille. That's why Marseille coach quit. Because he want to buy Saliba, he want to buy players, they can't afford to do it. So they don't have the money. Barca every year would spend millions. Them barely 100 plus. De Jong 70-something million plus. 100 and bought in the last couple of years, apart from getting some loan for Traore. I don't understand the logic of someone coming on saying we don't know what we're talking about. Nothing to refute what we're saying, and when this is in the general press. Now, not everything in the press is right and correct, but it's clear if they can buy Raphinha and they want Raphinha, and they're going to pay you next year, they don't have the money to pay you this year. They don't have the money. It's a fact. And the player wants to go to Barca. When have you seen a player who you want to come to your club and you can't sign them?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a clear indication. That's what I'm saying, that all the evidence is pointing to they don't have any money. Maybe you don't want to call it broke, or you just want to say they don't have any money, but you don't want to use the term broke. So let's say that they don't have any money to do what.
But management, sometimes you have assets in management, but those assets are not liquid. So you may not be totally broke, could sell, but you might have a fire sale to get money, which is a reduce you could get for it in a normal market. Problem they have is, yes, they have some image rights, they have TV rights, and if they sell them, they still charge.
No,
you gotta go find a buyer. That's the first. You gotta go find a buyer for your rights and get market for your rights. And people know you're in a situation where you're desperate. They're not giving you market value.
Yeah, Marlon Nelson is saying that most of the Spanish teams are in the red, with the exception of Atletico and Real Madrid.
Yeah, because COVID, you weren't making any money from COVID. The English league has so much. People don't understand it now. The English league is the league. Like Serie A was in the early 90s and late 80s. All the money is going to the English league. The other leagues are all getting scrapped, basically. Look at the French league. When they had the TV rights, I saw some Chinese company. The company went under. Yep. Now they're scrambling to figure out where they get some TV money.
But Atletico have the same problem, you know. It's just that they don't highlight because they're probably not as big as a Barcelona. But Atletico have over £1 billion in a €1 billion in a debt, you know. So
yeah, as long as you can service your debt, you're okay now. As long as you can make the revenues to service your debt, you're okay. Barca problem is they ain't making enough to service debt and pay all their and cover their expenses.
Because I remember Atletico letting go a slew of players and signed I think 11 players in our season. They signed 11 players already and let go a slew of players.
Yeah, I think this is sent. Barcelona actually bid €55 for Raphinha today. €55 is around 40 million pounds.
Chelsea offers £60 million upfront, which is about €70 million with add-ons. Right?
And Leeds are going to take.
You may end up staying at Leeds, you know. If he doesn't leave, he may end up staying up at Leeds.
No, what I want to know, though, because he was left out of the Leeds team that is traveling to Australia, he will be a Barca player next week. But will Leeds accept almost $30 million less for the player?
No, management, two things. They will not. And second of all, they're not getting the money up front. They're not getting any money up front. I bet he won't be a Barca player next week. Unless they come up with the money.
Oh. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Interesting one.
No, but Mrs. Job just come out. Barca has bid £60 million. They match Chelsea offer, so Leeds is to negotiate with them now.
So there is match and there is match. So if I tell you, CC, I'm going to give you £60 million in your hand right now. Or I tell you, I'm going to give you 30 next year and 30 the year after next year. Which one would you take?
The $60 million up front.
Okay. So Leeds' problem is if the player say I'm not going to Chelsea, I'm going to Barca, I hold you for another year, your value drops by half, that's a problem for Leeds. Because they don't want to disgruntled players in the team, so they got to figure something out.
Yeah,
they might figure something out.
Good discussion on this financial thing, and I think like clubs like Arsenal need to watch it, because if you keep buying players and losing on the selling end, you're not winning anything. You could run yourself in debt as well, because it's not like a City who, as much as people talk, City is winning, and City is also buying and selling back at a profit. Same thing with Liverpool. I find that recently, Arsenal and Manchester United in particular, and they have been buying and selling and not making any money, and they're not winning anything. Tottenham, on the other hand, well, since Gareth Bale, they haven't really made any money. They have just been buying. And when you keep buying and you're not winning anything, it's a problem.
So, here's the difference now. So our strategy has changed materially for Arsenal. So you notice we've got rid of a lot of players, giving them away for free. It's like you know what? It's a yard sale. We're just giving away players. But what we have look at our team now. Every player we have bought, apart from Partey in the last 2 years, you can sell them on more than what they're worth. So think about it. Cheney was 20-something million. Ram was just over 20. Gab was 27. Except for maybe White too. White was 50. Tomiyasu was about 8. All the players apart from White, you get more than what you said them for. And they're under 23 years old. Right? Partey and Xhaka, old people. Saka, Smith Rowe, Martinelli, even Jesus, all 25 or under. You probably can get as much or more than what you paid for them. So the strategy is changing to buy assets that has market value in a year's time after you blend them in over what you paid for them. So they'll have set on value. What we weren't doing, we're buying people like the Xhakas of the world. We're buying people like, what's the Greek player name? Can't remember his name now. Old men who have no set on value. Socrates, no set on value. We have Pepe, who was young but hasn't delivered. No sell on value. No sell on value for those players.
But I don't think, Manins, Arsenal not in that. Remember, Arsenal. I don't think Arsenal is in the top 10 for having the debt with some of the teams them have.
No. We had a self-sustaining model, right?
Arsenal
what I make. However, the debt is increasing because we have lost money for the last couple of years with COVID and others. We have a new sponsorship deal that came in, so there's more money there. We have a deal with Rwanda where they give us like 10 million every year. So we are getting sponsors here, there, and everywhere to supplement our income.
And we are reducing the wage bill as well because some of the highest earners.
And we have gotten rid of Ozil for 350, Aubameyang for 350, Lacazette for 150. We're getting rid of players with huge wages. And we have younger players coming in who don't cost as much from a wage standpoint, but we have to buy them. We have to spend money on it.
Like Saka get 30,000 pounds.
That would be about £100,000 by the end of this year.
That's why I don't understand why we took on even Lukaku at 300,000 because we got rid of Hazard, who was up there in the 300,000. At one point in time, our wage bill was looking good. Because we never had anyone in the
team. But you're trying to win now. That's why you bought Lukaku. You're trying to win now, not win later.
Yeah, but the bill, because I think it's the same thing reaching Liverpool right now. Liverpool lost money because they didn't want to give him the money.
It can be, but because they gave Salah the money.
Yeah, but they didn't want to give money. They didn't want to pay for them the money. Remember that Mane wanted
to leave. Mane's the one who pushed him.
I think Mane wanted to leave. Yeah, I don't think listen, I think if Mane said, I want to stay and this is what I want, I think Liverpool will have found a way to facilitate it.
Really?
I don't think Mane thought he was appreciated by Liverpool.
All right, let me show you something. But Bayern Munich, the contract that I see they give Mane, I see even German players not getting it. Because Toni Kroos left Bayern Munich, a World Cup winner, when they were giving him €60,000. 60,000 euro a week.
Yeah, but he went to Real Madrid. Come on, Real Madrid is the all-star team. Everybody want to go to Real Madrid.
I mean, Cranky, Toni Kroos is a German, won the World Cup with you and everything, and you're paying him £60,000 a week.
But see, that was 7 years ago, 8 years ago.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying to you, but Mane right now is getting the same deal that Salah has at.
No, but CC. 7 years ago, Mane was getting like 15,000 at Southampton.
Yeah, what I'm saying to you, Manins.
While Toni Kroos was getting 60,000-70,000 at Bayern Munich.
Yeah, but I'm saying when Toni Kroos was getting 60,000 at Bayern Munich.
Mane was getting 15.
Players not on Toni Kroos level at other big clubs like Bayern Munich were getting much more than that.
CC, you're confusing something. In life, there's something called timing. There is timing. Saka's situation is timing, right? He's playing very, very good. He's well rated, but he's young. And the timing of the contract is an important thing. Aubameyang's timing was perfect. We weren't scoring. He scored all the goals. He got paid. Just like Ozil was leaving on a free. Wenger got nervous, signing for 350. Your timing is impeccable in those situations. But Gnabry wants 250, 300. They're not giving it to him. He's in the last year of his contract. They're not giving Gnabry, who scored a number of goals for them, have assists. They're not paying him. They give him money.
They gave Sadio 350.
They're not giving Gnabry that money, are they?
What I'm saying though, CC, is this. and this is what I think Bert from 5 is saying. I think if Mane wanted to stay at Liverpool, they would have found a way to work out the salary for him and Salah. I think Mane wanted to leave. Whatever the reasons are, I like Crank said, maybe he didn't feel as appreciated. It's like you feel like I've done enough to be one of the, I don't know, have some more respect in the dressing room or so. I don't know. You kind of feel like there were even issues with him and Salah sometimes. And I think those things he said, I need a new challenge. I just want to leave regardless of what the money is. I want a new challenge. I think that's more what it is.
Yeah, and look, Salah get most of the praise, right? And Mane probably think I do as more work than him defensively. I mean, I scored most goals. I'm just as effective and important to the team. He's getting a lot of the accolades. I'm not. I'm out.
And listen, it's like, you know what is good? It's like, I think it will be good for both of them. Because Mane, I think Mane in Germany, in a Bayern Munich, how German football is going to score a lot of goals. And I think Salah with this new contract is probably going to score because more is going to be on him now that Mane is not there.
Plus,
because
Mane
he has a younger set of players to work with.
He called the team for the World Cup, so.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
The Mane have the upper hand at the end of the season.
Both African Nations Cup and the World Cup, actually.
Yeah, Mane won the African Nations Cup against Salah and then qualified against Salah to go to the World Cup. So,
by the way, not to digress, man, but so we in Jamaica are very focused on overseas players versus local players. So we had that situation with Cameroon, and you hear Eto'o come out and knock out against it. In Ghana, they're having a huge issue now because there are 5 or 6 players who are now going to the national team.
Yeah, man.
Who didn't help with the campaign?
Hudson Odoi.
Lamptey. Tariq
Lamptey. You also have this guy called Nico. Is it Nico Williams?
Nico Williams.
From one of those Spanish.
Inaki Williams, who's been a very good player in Spain for a long time.
Yeah.
Big player, about 27, big player.
There's somebody.
What they're saying is that they didn't want to play for the national team, especially Inaki way back when. Susu, I think his name is, from Southampton. There's a bunch of them, like 5 or 6 of them. And they've been brought into the team because you know that what's his name is now their sort of technical director. The guy that was the manager for Brighton, he's British, but he has Ghanaian roots. He's the one bringing them in. Oh, and there's a lot of back and forth about that. Actually.
I heard that the Eto'o quote was a fake news. The second time I'm hearing this,
I thought I saw Eto'o saying, I may be wrong, but I thought it was clear that Eto'o was complaining about Matip, and Matip wanted to be in the team and he wasn't having it.
Your guy named Mohamed Salisu.
Yeah.
From Southampton. Salisu played the left footer who played for Southampton.
Yeah.
Because they asked him about playing before and he pushed off. Now they all want to be in the team for the World Cup.
Yeah. Here's where I don't have a problem with the players playing in the qualifiers, but I can understand when the federation has a problem with them, especially if you don't think you're going to win the World Cup.
Management, the federation, when you go to the World Cup, want to make sure they compete and have the best team possible. They don't care about mercenaries. They want them to be in their team.
Yeah, but that's what we had a problem with Robbie. A lot of Jamaicans have a problem with Robbie Earl. They didn't have a problem. Well, though Robbie Earl was here, but what I'm saying is that the issue I have with a lot of the people is that they have a problem with the men coming and playing in the qualifiers. I'm saying that how could you have a problem with that? If you're going to have a problem, let it be when we qualify for the World Cup and they said, no, I'm ready to play. But come on, you want to qualify.
But management, if you read the comments of the Ghanaians, the diversity in comments and the nature of the comments are no different from what we see in Jamaica. Same exact thing. One side for, one against, and some people in the middle. Same exact discussion about mercenaries, about affiliation, about natural born, about local, it's the same series of conversation. So,
but Cranky, I think Inaki to me would have been the bigger debate because the guy named Stephen Ambrosius, he's 23. Tariq Lamptey is like 21. The other guy, Hudson Odoi is like 21. The other gentleman from Salisu
is not. Eddie and Ketia, they're trying to reach out to him too.
Yeah, but they want Ketia as well.
Yeah.
So I think
the good thing about that, man, when they play in the World Cup, they're locked up, and most of these kids are 22 and under.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I'm saying.
For them, which is good for them. And so Lamptey would have been in the England team. He got injured before he got called. Hard to make it at right back, but he got injured before he got called. Nketiah, not there yet, but you can see he has potential for improvement.
Leading goal scorer for England in under 20 football, though.
He's a leading goal scorer, yes. And Hudson-Odoi has played. They've been trying to convince Hudson-Odoi for years to play for Ghana, frankly.
But remember what pushed the thing, They call Lamptey for the under 21s, and they call Hudson-Odoi for the under 21s, and they declined for England under 21s. At that point in time,
England now to lock up players, man, even more so than before.
Yeah, because all of these players will be starting.
Yeah.
All 3 group games.
Yeah.
So and that would be it.
All right. Wandan says he has a question for the panel, and then we are going to close out because we have gone past the hour. So I'm going to let Cranky respond and close out the show for us today. Don't know how he's going to take it. I don't know.
What's the question?
What his monologue is going to be. I like how people do these things on social media comment section. The man types something, says, I have a question for the panel. And then,
I know you have a question.
Yeah, it's almost like you're having a conversation. Can I ask you something? I think that same thing can I translate on this. I wait until the person.
Or is it a warning? Is it a warning?
One that you need to forward the question real quickly because I'm going to let Cranky. CC, let me give you a couple of minutes to wrap up and then say your final piece, and then Cranky will close out the show for us today.
Yeah. My final thing is just that I think the Premier League is going to be much more difficult this season. For one, more teams have, for example, like a Newcastle and those teams, they have money to compete now, right? Arsenal, they have good manager, they're bringing in good players. Tottenham, a great manager bringing in good players. So at the end of the day, I think, as I said before, Chelsea needs 6 players, inclusive of who they have signed so far in the Raheem Sterling and stuff, in order to compete and at least maintain that top 4 place. Man United have signed a manager who have came in with a lot of rules. So, a lot of these things are. So, at this point in time, I believe that if my team gets these players, we'll be challenging for the title. You understand? Okay. So, that's just my belief.
All right. Thank you, CC. Thank you so much. CC from CC Sports Lab. Cranky, you want to take the question. I don't know any of the rules. I really don't follow.
So here are the rules. Let me read them for you. Here are the rules.
No, the rules. I know the rules.
Cranky, go read them.
Players will be dropped if late for training or team meetings. That's Arteta and Aubameyang, by the way. Even though they did it multiple times. Alcohol to be banned during game weeks. Whoa. Not helpful. All players must eat what is prepared by club chefs. Interesting. BMI, body mass index, to be checked every month. That means we're going to make a comment without saying we can't overweight. That's how I never said.
Yes, she wouldn't make it.
No. No. Players to address complaints directly to him rather than their agents. Because you know what? Now players go to agent relay the information back to the club, and that's how it works. Look, I think all managers have rules, What they normally do is fine you for some of those things. When you're coming as a manager, new manager, you normally want to tread lightly. But if the club is in a difficult situation, you can afford to take some liberties, right? You can afford to lay the law down. You've been given what is good, like a 4 or 5 year contract. What about it? You have some job security. You have a reputation because you have taken your team to the semifinal of the Champions League. You have done really, really well. So you have some pedigree, even though it's not in England. And you believe that's going to help you to execute your mandate well if you put rules in place and make sure people adhere to them. So what he's done is says, I am the boss. There's only one boss here. I don't care who you are as a player. And nobody is bigger than the boss. I think some of those rules are about being a professional. Why should you be late for team meetings or for a game? That's ridiculous. Why should you be overweight when you're a professional player? It's your job. That's what you should
personal
be.
chef though. Sorry to cut in. I think the personal chef being banned, the kind of iffy because what are
Well,
you saying?
what he's basically saying is that you need to eat right.
Yeah,
And
because
you
I
can always
think
eat when you go home. You can always eat when you go home. What you want to eat?
exactly when I'm at the club, I eat what the club prepares.
Yes.
But when
But
I'm home, I mean,
yeah,
as
but
I said, Frankie is just
you
saying
can't tell
that
me what to eat at home. You're not there monitoring me.
yeah, you should just eat right.
You
Because
just
remember,
got to eat right.
Arsene Wenger did a lot of these things when he came in. I remember he took out the whole alcohol thing out of Arsenal. Because Arsenal was in a dark
Didn't
place.
take it out of Tony Adams, too.
But Tony Adams was a different person, right?
But
Tony Adams was
Arsenal
drunk.
was at a dark place, so sometimes you see these things have happened. The same Conte, this is my last point now. Remember, Conte did something with Inter Milan where he told the guys that they can't have something there. They can't go to their wives during the game, something there, week. So when they have a game in midweek, they can't perform certain acts. And that and a person would say that would have been personal. That was Antonio Conte. So a lot of coaches have their own thing. Javi came
But
in with a
no,
bunch
I
of
don't understand. Guys, I don't understand this. Unless you're away on a trip and they bet somebody from your room, they don't have cameras in your home to see what you do. You don't do what you do. You can make all the rules you want.
But Javi
All
made
the
a lot of
rules
rules.
are possible. Please, that's the question. Huh?
Javi came in with a lot of rules, and persons were saying that it wouldn't work. Javi finished the season in second. Barcelona was nowhere near finishing in second.
No, Barcelona's got a better coach and got better players because Aubameyang went and scored a bunch of goals.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a combination of. So what
Every manager is going to have their rules. Every manager going to have their rules. They want to make sure they instill discipline and demonstrate or show that they're the boss. Yeah.
You know, I don't.
CC with him, which was appreciated. CC, certain activities work for me. We don't have to be explicit.
No, remember that we have different.
Because if he mentions it, then he understands it. I'm sure everyone else in the chat does.
Exactly.
All right, yeah, man. Thank you, CC. Thanks for coming on. I know Richard said that you'd love to join us sometime. Richard is also a gooner, and so one of these days we'll bring you on, Richard. We don't want it to be packed with just Arsenal, fans and supporters because the people will take it to heart. We had a Chelsea man on today. We have a Liverpool person that we invited, but they didn't come on. We're gonna get the Man U fans on as well, but there'll always be at least two Arsenal.
But the funny thing is, Manny's man is that like Minzy don't want to talk about Man U.
That's what
I don't say you're a Man U fan,
saying.
want to talk about your team. I'm a Man U fan.
A lot of the Man U fans don't want to talk about Man U.
I know. Even when we're losing, we're still proud of our team. We talk about our team. Man U fans don't have the same perspective.
Liverpool fans and Arsenal fans love them club differently.
What about Chelsea fans?
Chelsea fans love them club, but I will say Liverpool and Arsenal fans are the fans that loves their club the most.
You know why, CC? You know why? You know why? Because we have history and sustained success. So we're not bandwagonists. If you're a Chelsea fan, you only came on board since Abramovich came on board. You're not a real fan, you're a wagonist. If you're a Man City fan, you're the worst wagonist because they just stopped with him the other day.
I have to understand to Cranky's age, but as I said, the only thing I will give Arsenal fans, you know why? Because I'm saying Liverpool hasn't won. A bunch of these younger fans that are saying Liverpool, they haven't won the Premier League. They haven't really had a bunch of success in the league. So when you're seeing them getting their success now and them chomping up and stuff, you have to just give it up to them. Arsenal fans have come to.
I find that the demographics for the Liverpool fans is a whole lot of older fans support Liverpool. I think the old, like when I find a very old football fan, they're a Liverpool or Arsenal fan.
Yeah. It's a history. We have history.
Because remember that Liverpool and Arsenal had more league titles than Manchester United at one point in time. So you have to just see all these things are.
There's a lot of Man U fans also. There's a lot of Man U fans.
But there's a lot of Man U fans. It's just the history, man.
But Man U wasn't that great in the 70s and early 80s. It's when Fergie came on board. They got dominant.
Yeah, especially in Jamaica, I think there's a connection between Liverpool and I think I don't know. I feel
I think
like
Liverpool and Leeds way back when Leeds was also good in the 70s and early
Yeah.
80s. Liverpool and Leeds Liverpool was a team. A lot of Jamaicans like Liverpool. Yeah.
yeah.
They like Leeds also.
And then I think Arsenal is probably. I tell people that I think Arsenal have more fans in Jamaica than Man U.
You know why Arsenal had a lot of fans too? Because of the style of play. It was very attractive football. And it resonate with people. They like to watch them play. We used to play the best football. Even though Man U was better, they were more physical than we were. We played that nice, well-designed, passing football.
With Road, when those guys became and then the influx of European
but I'm
players.
saying to you, though, CC, you're talking like when you're talking about Ruud Gullit and those guys, and you're talking about football at Chelsea. Like to the regular football, the fans that I'm talking about are going back to, when oh my God.
But it's era,
Ian Rush type way back when for Liverpool.
That was when some of those clubs built up their fan bases.
Yeah.
And that's fine, man, because next 20 years, Chelsea will be in the category of saying that they built up a fan base at a point in time.
Next 20 years?
And I'm saying to you, everybody has a starting point.
Next
right?
20 years? Like, here's what I realize. Here's what I realize with football, and maybe we can end on this, that the newer fans to football I find they are less loyal than the older traditional fans. I find that a lot of the persons now will change and say, me stop support Chelsea, man. I go support Real Madrid on my side. But like I find that the more traditional, like the Liverpool fans, they have been supporting Liverpool like for 30 years and stuff. Same thing with some of the Arsenal fans. You really find them change and say they're going to go to a next team. I've seen Chelsea fans and City fans change.
Yeah, because man, as I said, they're not fans. Them probably are AC. But you see, the thing about it is,
Are them a CC?
No. Listen, man, I forever carry Chelsea. It doesn't matter. At the point in time we're at our lowest point. Remember, I'm carrying Chelsea when we end up 10th. I don't have a problem with my team not something there finishing certain place in the table. When they're not competing, I feel away, but I'm not going to switch from my team. It's a cult thing for me with my team. Chelsea for the rest of my life. I don't have no other team. You understand me? Tell them already. I notice my team, them Chelsea, Clarendon College, certain teams is just embedded in me.
Oh, it's Clarendon College. You missed it. It's the CC for that's why you're confused. Confused.
It's Chelsea Clarendon College. No, but certain things are embedded in me, and lucky for me, Clarendon College and Chelsea, the teams that I support are blue. So I have one solid love, but I think, as I said, man, it's a lot of these persons, they will change because they're not really football fans.
So my last one is going to be on the CC, which is Clarendon College produced the best ever Manning Cup team ever played football.
That Costa Cup team, I mean.
That Costa Cup team I should be, not Manning Cup. That Costa Cup. The team with Lenny Hyde, best Manning Cup team ever. I mean, the Costa Cup team, I would say Manning Cup team. 78, 79, somewhere around there? Yeah.
77, 78.
77 should be, 77.
Yeah, with Den them and all of them.
Lenny, Dynamo.
They're in a book out there. Tapazoki, the real Tapa.
Yeah.
The real Tapa.
Ridiculous team.
Next week, because here's what we do. We have we're going to start with 2000. We're going to have all the Costa Cup 90s team. So everyone who played from 1990 to 1999, have one person coming on to name the best 11 Da Costa Cup player. We have one person from the Manning Cup who is going to select the best players from 1911. So you can imagine how difficult.
You should do it by decades, man. You should probably just start off first with 70s, 80s, 90s.
Yeah. I'm going to do that, but what happened is that I haven't found somebody yet from the 70s and 80s. So I found two 90s person who have a lot of information, but I'm going to go 80s, 70s as well to see.
Yeah, bring out CC biggest baller
in the 90s. Which big baller?
Now I'm saying the biggest, the most acclaimed, as in the most
No,
acclaimed.
Lenny, the most acclaimed CC baller. No, most Lenny.
I mean, it's Linval, man. Linval played for Jamaica probably over 100 times, you know.
Me not care much time for Jamaica. Lenny, the most acclaimed CC baller. Me not care how good.
No, Lenny probably talented. Talent. It's a different.
You talk about player for all you was a teacher. Me not care who you say one name.
Yeah. So we're going to do that. I think probably that's going to be interesting because I would say people like just think about it, right? In the 90s, you had a dominant Norman Manley. In the 90s, you had a dominant Charlie Simmet. You had a spectacular Wolmers. You had some good Danone team and some. You understand me? Says a lot of good teams around in the 90s. I think in the 70s in Kingston you'd probably JC, but in the 70s you'd say KC.
Camperdown, man. Camperdown is 70. Camperdown 70-17. Yeah. With Hugh Bailey, Thomas McLean. Excellent.
Yeah, but for the 70s and a whole, from like
KC
was more
KC, Camperdown, less extensive bar, Tivoli. There are a few teams throughout the 70s.
Somebody from CC was buried yesterday. The 70 Glenroy Nemhard.
Okay.
Yeah, and also Den Hutchinson was
the 80s was Veer. The Veer took the 80s in that Costa Cup.
Yeah.
Veer was dominant.
Veer win about 6.
No.
What about Rossies?
Veer win about
Rossies 80s and early 90s, yeah.
Right to talk about Veer took the Costa Cup in 80s.
Hold on, 70s, 80s. Hold on, man. Veer win about 6. Now one of them decade there, no. Veer win about 6.
It was that early 70s, mid 70s, later on.
One of those decades.
He came out with Chung Fa. I left Jamaica after the 70s, so I don't know.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. But people, listen, Cranky, close out the show. Tell the people, because I know you're not going to be around next week, so we'll probably do it.
Yes, I am traveling on vacation for a couple of weeks. I'll be on the road, and I'm going to go see my team, Chelsea, in Orlando at some point in the next 2 weeks. That should be fun.
Who are playing in Baltimore? Because there's a game in Baltimore.
Everton. We're playing Everton in Baltimore.
And then,
we're playing the Orlando FC in Orlando. I was going to go to that game, but it wasn't that enticing. I'm going to see Chelsea play against Arsenal. Hopefully we can play more of the first teamers because we're going to go back and start August 5th, Emirates Cup, and then start the league. I will say that the Premier League only gets better and better every year. More money gets poured in. They rate other leagues for players. You have less quality players transferring out of the Premier League. You have Mané this year and a few more versus coming into the league. So I'm very interested about how the league will play out next year. It's going to be difficult for us because everyone is buying quality, especially Spurs is my concern because there was always going to be a fight for fourth between us, Spurs, Man U, let's extend West Ham, and maybe Newcastle coming out. But Spurs has some great acquisitions, so we'll see how that works out. But I expect us to do well.
Yeah. All right, so people, there you have it. That's the show for today. Hour and a half. Really, really want to say a big thank you to everyone for joining. Thanks to Cranky, the Arsenal man, CC, the man from the Blues of London, Chelsea. But I like the fact that he acknowledges that London forever red. So it's always good when you have that admission from a Chelsea fan. When he did say on this that Arsenal is a big team, he did say that, it is Arsenal and Liverpool. And then I had to ask him, and he then brought up Chelsea. He did admit that Chelsea fans are not loyal. It's good. But big up
Hurricane fan.
Yeah, but big up CC. Big up to everyone in the comment section. It was really a pleasure having you. If there are things that you'd love for us to talk about, discuss to make the content better, you can also let us know. Leave it in the comment section. Go watch the video, leave it there so we can add quality to it. As time progresses, we plan on getting people from the places, people from actually North London who support Arsenal to come on the platform. People from in the Chelsea area. They're also in London already. West London.
What are you talking about?
Chelsea.
Arsenal?
Chelsea.
Yeah. They're West London,
West London.
in the rich neighborhood, close to Fulham, close to Kensington, close to Earl's Court. No, it's actually a rich neighborhood, very rich neighborhood. One of the richest neighborhoods in England, in the UK.
Yeah.
If not the richest, give them where they are.
Yeah. So we want to bring them on to share. But if you have anything that you'd like us to do to improve the quality, then please let us know. All right. We have some good content coming up as well in next week. We did a show today where we spoke to Ludlow, Bernard, Andrew Price, Paul Christie. You can go and check that out and listen to it. The Reggae Girls play on Monday versus Haiti at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. That is Jamaican time. Let us be in a lot of prayers. You understand me? Because this will not be an easy one. Again, thank you so much.
Let me say one word before you go. God don't pick sides. So I would say good luck to the Reggae Girls. I hope they're successful, but we're not gonna bring Ja into the conversation about picking sides. Ja impact.
Yeah, man. But people, bless up. This has been I Am Sure Sports. You have Cranky CC. Some people say CC from Royal Palm Estate. Some said Comedy Central. Some said Chatty. But you don't know CC is original. Clarendon College. You understand me? The yellow and the blue. One done. Clarendon. All right. So bless up. Respect. One and all. I am Management. This has been I Am Sure Sports, and we are over and OUT out.
Yo, watch about dog, SK New Erdis, the body out there, Sniper King I represent for I Am Sure Sports. You get to me, I say, when you want the latest news and sports and updates and all of that, check out I Am Sure Sports. You know the thing goes in. Remember, you cover the whole island. Remember Kingston, Westmoreland, Galchester, Orchard-Race, Galtigo Bay, everywhere. I Am Sure Sports, check it out for the latest news and latest updates. Sniper King I represent. Where them feel like, yeah, someone on for the food from we young, from we day, you need height. I Am Sure Sports. Yeah, dog.
Cranky, I need to find a way to